Hello, welcome to the Paper Nation review of the SHF Anti-Ock Spider-Man suit from the Spider-Man PS4 game. Recently got this shipped over from Japan. I think it's a relatively new figure, and I was very excited to get it because I thought the suit looked awesome in the game. So this is the side of the packet here, down one side, and then just looking up the other, just standard kind of fare there. On the back we've got some cool poses they've put in there. So looking pretty nice. So opening the packet up here, we've got some instructions, although I imagine you probably won't need them. There's nothing you can't figure out for yourself. Here he is in the tray. Lots of hands, lots of webbing, lots of accessories, as you would expect with a Spider-Man. So here he is with his two heads he can have. So he's got his wider eyes, which is my preference, and his smaller kind of intense eyes. There's a spider symbol on the chest looking really crisp, really nice, and there's his legs. He's got a mixture of like a matte grey and like this shiny black. Is a couple of sets of hands here, which I'll go through later, and here's a couple more just to show you how it all looks in the tray. And with the webbing, he's got a good offering of webbing there. There's a couple of nice ones in there you don't see from other companies, so we'll go over them, but taking the figure out of the packet, let's take a look at him in the flesh, as it were. Starting with that kind of spider symbol, jumps straight out at you. The combination of the yellow and the black, the shiny black, it really works. Reminiscent of the Onyx Batman from Mezco in a way, just that shiny black kind of jumps out at you, and it's really nicely done. The details are spot on, and it is really like it's jumped out of the game. And in figure form. I looked on YouTube and I thought it looked pretty good. Saw the promotional photos, and I think in person it doesn't disappoint at all. I'm really pleased with it. On the back there you can kind of see a port that you can pull out, and I think that's for being able to plug a stand in, but I haven't got a stand that can do that. I've had to rob one of my Mayfix ones. So just looking at this detailing again, the paint apps are really good. Just how he's made up is really nice. It's just a really nice looking figure. I can't see any problems at all with the application of the paint or anything. So let's move on and take a look at the articulation. So he can look pretty far down. That's a good range. So he looks quite far up as well, as you expect for a Spider-Man, but the tilt it's hardly anything to speak of there, which is a little disappointing. The arms can go up that far without being twisted round. It's got nice butterfly joints, quite generous, and go up like that. I would say not quite as smooth as what I'm used to with Mayfix Spider-Man. I think this is my first SHF Spider-Man, and the articulation is a bit limited in comparison, I would say. But there he is, double jointed elbow. Just twisting it around, seeing what kind of motion I can get there. Onto the wrists, kind of what you'd expect. You've got a kind of floating wrist gauntlet joint there, which is a bit annoying. I think I can see why they had to do it that way, but it does get in the way a bit. So you can bend quite far back, no real gappage at the front, but there is a bit of gappage at the back, and you've got the kind of licensing. So hunched over is not going to be a good look for him, but kind of leaning back as he's jumping off a rooftop or something like that, it looks great. And if you're looking from the front, it looks pretty good if he's hunched over there too, but just that view from the back when he's hunched over lets that down. Just the split's pretty good. Can get his leg back quite far, which is nice. The knee doesn't allow a lot of scope there, so it is a double jointed knee, but the legs don't quite get that same, what you'd expect with a Mayfix, that same range there. And this is the real disappointment of the figure. If I had to change one thing, it would be this ankle. You get nothing from it. The toe pivot's nice, but the ankle as a whole, the whole foot is not good. So you got a nice little thigh swivel there as well, just to help with that bit of articulation there. So let's try and pose him up, just a quick pose, just to see what we can get out of him. Just a quick Spidey pose, nothing special. So even with the poor ankles, you can kind of make something work there. It's not something you're going to notice just looking at him. It would have been nice to have, but you can still get a pretty nice pose out of him. Still quite versatile there. That's something you can work with, I think. People that are better posers than me anyway, I'll have to work on it. I'm probably going to favour having some sort of web slinging pose, as if he's just webbing his way around the buildings, something like that. Again, I would like to have had the feet pointing up or something like that, but it's not to be. I have to get over it. There's still plenty to like on this figure, so let's just get him straight again. Okay, so I'm going to try a head swap now just to see what he looks like with his other head, with the more intense eyes, if that's the right word for them, like he's concentrating really hard, like he's about to do something quite difficult, or he's about to hit somebody. Well, let's take a look at that on there. Yeah, that looks okay. I always prefer the big eyes on Spider-Man. The bigger the better. So none of my Spider-Man are posed with these little eyes like this. Just to show you guys how that looks. Let's take that off and let's put the other one back on. That's much better. All right. So if we're going to have a look at the rest of the accessories now, so we've got lots of hands to get through. So he's got these guys here, just normal fists, and then here we've got his kind of web slinging hands. So they've actually got a little hole at the bottom, these, which allow this webbing to go on, which is something I've not seen with any other figures, so that'll stay on there for me. And you've got at the top of the same hand, you can put the long webbing in there. So you've got these kind of relaxed-ish hands. Not really sure what to do with those. Is that for your mobile phone that you use in the game? Got some more relaxed hands. You've got your whip hands, so good opportunity to show off how the webbing clicks into those. So you've got a shorter one and a longer one. And you've got these kind of, what I use them for, web crawling hands, I call them. And that's how they look from the back. So to look at comparisons, this is what he looks like next to Marvel Legends. This is my Scarlet Spider. And I've got a Netflix Daredevil from Mezco as well. So he's quite short. But I think a lot of the SHF all the ones I've got have always come up a little short against like Mafex and Mezco and Legends. So it is what it is. He's a little shorter, so you may want him just posed up web slinging or so. But just to hammer the point home, here he is next to two Mezco Spider-Man I've got. He does kind of come in at the same height, more or less, as the Homecoming Spidey there. But yeah, he looks pretty good against everyone else. I've put him in my villains cabinet there just to show you what he looks like against the height of some of those, especially next to Dr. Octopus, which shouldn't be an issue anyway because it's usually on something up there anyway to get his height up. So there he is against the others, got a few of these classic rogues there, and he is a lot smaller than them guys, which you would expect. So in closing, I was really happy to get hold of the figure. It was quite difficult to get hold of. It sold out everywhere in the UK, so I got him shipped in from Japan. And I think he's a great addition to the collection. He's a little different, obviously, with his colour scheme. But I think he's a worthwhile purchase. I would recommend him. The articulation, leaves a bit to be desired, but overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. Glad to have him in my collection. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching today. If you've got any comments, let me know below. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.